In industrial automation, everything comes down to one requirement: absolute, repeatable physical precision. We are going to program a system to achieve that level of control. By the end of this setup, a single button press will drive a linear axis exactly 10 millimeters. To build this, we need 4 physical components: a stepper motor, a stepper driver, a dedicated DC power supply, and a programmable logic controller, or PLC. Integrating these specific hardware and software elements is the first step toward building accurate factory automation systems. Before wiring, we must verify the PLC's outputs. To control a stepper motor, the PLC requires high-speed transistor outputs, commonly known as pulse train output, or PTO. This comparison illustrates the physical requirement. A standard mechanical relay relies on physical switching, which cannot match a high-frequency square wave. Instead, we use a solid-state transistor to generate a rapid, consistent pulse train. Without the hardware capability to generate these microsecond perfect pulses, precise stepper motion is physically impossible. We'll start the physical installation by wiring the 4 motor legs into the A and B coil channels on the stepper driver. If your motor wires are unlabeled, you can identify a coil pair by twisting 2 wires together and turning the shaft by hand. If the magnetic resistance increases, those 2 wires belong to the same leg. This schematic shows how control signals are routed from the PLC outputs to the driver's pulse, direction, and enable terminals. The driver translates these signals into high amperage power for the motor's A and B coils. On the input side, all 3 negative terminals must be tied to a common 0-volt DC ground on the power supply. Finally, configure the dip switches on the side of the driver to match the pulses per revolution required for your specific motor and axis. The driver is now ready to act as the power translator for the PLC's digital commands. In the PLC software, we'll start by assigning standard tags to the physical inputs, such as the push buttons and switches on the panel. Next, we map the software outputs to the specific physical channels wired to the stepper pulse, direction, and enable terminals. Within the PLC's device configuration, you must manually activate the pulse generator for your chosen channel. Checking this box is what enables the high-speed PTO functionality on that output. This configuration step tells the PLC to treat that standard digital output as a specialized high-frequency motion controller. To handle the mathematical calculations for movement, we create a technology object called a positioning axis. We configure the axis by setting the units to millimeters and linking the drive parameters to our newly enabled PTO hardware channels. In this menu, we are going to leave the enable output field blank. We'll handle the enable signal manually in the logic due to how some drivers interpret electrical signals. Many stepper controllers use active low logic. As shown here, an on signal actually disables the motor, while a lack of signal enables it. If we map this to the default setup menu, we might inadvertently keep the motor locked in a disabled state. Checking the manufacturer specifications for these hardware-specific quirks ensures that your software commands and physical driver are correctly synchronized. Now we can construct the ladder logic. We'll start with a motor control function containing a power block for the enable switch and a reset function to clear any access errors. For movement, we'll use the move relative block. This instruction moves the motor based on its current position rather than a fixed 0 point. When the forward button is pressed, a rising edge trigger pushes a value of 10.0 millimeters into our step distance tag. The reverse button logic does the opposite, pushing a negative 10.0 millimeter value into that same tag. The sequence follows a specific loop. Pressing either button loads a distance value and sets a unified go bit. This triggers the move relative block, which automatically resets the go bit once the target distance is reached. This logical cycle ensures that every button press results in the same repeatable movement distance. With the logic complete, we download the project to the PLC and activate the hardware enable switch. When we press the forward button, the motor turns the ball screw thread and snaps to a sudden, precise stop. The axis has moved exactly 10 millimeters. Pressing the reverse button instantly retraces that distance back to the starting point. By combining high-speed hardware with relative motion ladder logic, you have established a functional, repeatable template for controlling industrial stepper systems.